Welcome back to another video. It is Saturday afternoon, it's 1:20. Did I want to have trained by now and be indoors being productive? Yes. Has that happened? Absolutely not. Had yet another slow morning, didn't get out of bed until I think it was like 9:30, 9:45. Lovely lay-in, had a really good night's sleep I definitely needed. That seems to be the Saturday's theme at the moment of just like have a lay-in, have a bit of a relaxed morning. And then I just had some food. I will admit I did have my pre-workout meal about 10:15 with the intention of starting training about 11:15. That didn't happen. So I can feel myself kind of getting a bit hungry, but it's fine. I can have like a snack or something during my training if it becomes a problem. But it is week one, it's incredibly light, so I'm not too stressed. Had a really busy few days, like productive few days in terms of getting stuff done in the house, DIY, decorating. Yesterday I tried to at least make the garden slightly more presentable because I hate gardening. Like the worst part of being a homeowner isn't the mortgage, it's not the bills, it's not the fixing things that break, it is the garden. Like, and I stand by that firmly. So yesterday was spent kind of starting to get the garden a bit more presentable because my logic this year was we have so much to get done inside the house. I don't really care about the garden as long as it's like fine, okay, it's not a problem, like whatever. Cut the grass a few times, that'll do. It didn't do, like the amount of weeds we've got in our garden that I just have to do something about. Like I literally can't look at it, like it's awful. So I started tackling some of that yesterday, and I don't like adulting. Anyway, I have had a really busy few days, which means I've also had a very active few days, and yesterday my body weight was way ahead of the cut plan. I was 86.5 yesterday. Last week I think my average weight was like 87.5, 87.6 from the whole week. Literally like dropped a kilo this week. Until last night, I did go out to Wingstop last night for one of my friends to celebrate her getting a new job, and I don't think I've overeaten like that in years. Like I ate so much food, I was so uncomfortable by the end of it, but that's fine, it's not a problem. And my weight did shoot up again today to 88 on the dot, but like I'm not obviously stressing over that. Like within a couple of days it'll be down. And to be honest, I've been pretty hungry all week as well, and I think it's just because I've been so active, plus like my calories are definitely a bit too low, I think. I am finishing up the month with Jane, so we're going to just do like another week and a bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if she ups my calories next week, and then I will take the reins. But yeah, 86.5 yesterday, and that's like, I mean, I'm just happy to see it, to be honest. Although it's dropping quicker than we kind of wanted to ideally, I'm not upset with getting there a little bit quicker. And I always like instantly, as soon as I saw the 86 on the scales, and this isn't like a healthy thing for me to feel, but I know as soon as I'm in like the 86s, can't speak, I just feel better in myself. Like I feel more comfortable in myself, and I try not to associate obviously how I feel within myself as to what I see on the scales, and I very much try and dissociate the two. But we grew up in diet culture world, like it's going to be there a little bit. And yeah, I was very happy to see an 86.5. I kind of set myself the goal of seeing an 86 before the meal out last night, but I was expecting like an 86.9 maybe. So seeing 86.5 was pretty happy. And that was after like a few days doing like 15,000 steps, so that's kind of why. Or close to 15,000. I don't think I actually hit that mark, so it was a little bit of an exaggeration, but like I hit 14,000 a couple of times. So anyway, that's not relevant. That's for me is quite a lot of steps though. But yeah, had a really active few days, and weight is falling off obviously today, so a little bit of an increase, but that's not a problem. I'm gonna get this session done in hopefully fairly good time. This block we have got sumo deadlifts in still. This is the last block to try and convince Lewis to let me pull sumo, which I don't think is going to happen. I think he's going to make me stick conventional. But the plan this block is to go to a higher RP single at the end of the block, just normal sumo rather than tempo to knee. So I think this week I've got set loads, and I'm going to do ascending triples into a single at 150 this week, I think. And then I think the plan like next week will be roughly 160, and then we'll just kind of see from there. And he wants to basically see how my positioning and technique holds up at heavier loads, because so far sumo has been very light, just like skill work. So kind of looking forward to doing that and trying to get that to move as well as possible. Squats are pretty comfortable today. I have got fairly high RP triple at the end of the block. I know roughly where I'd like to land. I'm not going to go for any PBs or anything, I don't think, or match PBs. Like I don't feel like I have my 190 triple squatting legs on me at the moment, but you never know. Like I definitely feel more motivated, and I've really been thinking about the fact that my squats are lacking because of my confidence, not because of anything else. Like it is a confidence thing. And actually I filmed a podcast a couple of days ago with Jasper, and one thing we spoke about, I think we spoke about it actually off the call, was this like delusional confidence that people need if they're going to succeed in the sport. And it's like, I was using the example of me with squats. Earlier this year, I would just set myself the most ridiculous end of block targets for squats, and I knew I was going to load it regardless, and I knew I was going to find a way to just make it happen. Like once it was on my back, it was going to move, and I used to have this confidence, and I just don't have that at the moment. I definitely think it's coming back. I'm definitely feeling better than I did around heavier loads, and like, yeah, just got to find that confidence back. But I have officially entered British. I've actually paid my entry, £120 entry, which is a lot for entering British. Previously, I think last year it was about 80 quid, maybe 90 at most. Pretty sure the year before it was like, in previous years it was like 50, maybe 60 at a push. I remember last year being quite a big jump up. And then this year is another big jump up again. But I have to say I'm not too surprised. Like I do think it kind of sucks, and for a lot of people it's going to be out of reach. Like, and that sucks, right? Like I want the sport to be accessible as possible, obviously within reason, with it being like a very high level comp, or that's the goal for this comp. But I'm not that surprised it was 120, because it is at an expo. There are very limited numbers of entries. Like it's 14 per weight class at the most. Like, it's not really that surprising that it was such a big bump up again. It just does suck if that's obviously an unreasonable price for people, or if people are going to be struggling for money to do British. Because I was saying to friends, like, for me, British is what I've been working for all year. And when I first saw the price, I did consider not doing it, I won't lie. Like, and I never thought I'd say that. But obviously I'm going to do it, like it's what I've been working towards all year. And I was like, you can afford it. It just sucks. Like I hate spending money on anything. But when I kind of sat there, I was like, this weekend for British is going to cost me so much money, simply from like the travel to get there. I think it's like a 4-hour drive for me. That's a complete guess, but I would imagine it's at least a 4-hour drive for me each way, plus hotel for at least one night, depending on how many days I go. If I do go for more than one day, I'm going to have to pay the expo for pass for the other days that I'm there. It's gonna be, we're looking at like at least a £500 weekend, like at least a £500 weekend. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Just need to be good with my money until then, I suppose. I have really been like budgeting to a T the last couple of months, and I'm very glad I've been doing that. That is, I don't think I've got anything interesting to say, team. That's like literally all I have to say. I need to crack on and get this session done so that I can have a productive afternoon / evening decorating the house. Yeah, I will talk you through anything worth talking through from the session, but there's probably not going to be too much to say. Like I say, it's week 1, it's pretty light. I think I've got 2 triples, ascending triples, and then back off 6s possibly. I actually can't remember, I need to look at my programme. But yeah, it's going to be relatively quick session, hopefully. Just going to try and not take too long rest breaks, and just, yeah, I like to use week 1 of a block as kind of like a bit of a break from training in a way. Like obviously I still do all the training and I still put the same effort into everything, but because it is lighter, I allow myself to just do shorter training sessions to get in and out a bit quicker and do other things outside of training. And also with decorating the house, I would like to get that all done over the next few days, or everything that I'm desperate to get done over the next few days done, so that I can just focus fully on prep for British, because my shoulders and stuff are already hurting from decorating the last few days. So I would like to keep that to a minimum and have minimal impact on my training.
Okay. I see across the room, X marked on the spot, everybody tryna zoom. But this is casual, another night with the wolves. But how she be dealing with them, she's a damn professional. Making plays for, don't need to be told, yeah she knows. Got these fellas down bad and everybody else mad. Adrenaline rush, leaving them in the dust, now they converting the stands. The world is in her hands now, she's living in my head rent free. Burning through my long-term memory. Everybody racing in a Grand Prix. They know if they don't take a chance now, finna stay woke, no sleep, running back real slow, was that a wink? She's cold as ice, sugar-coated lies with the honey trap eyes. She's dangerous, she's dancing with intention. She's got everyone's attention. She knows she's dangerous. They wanna get a number on a roulette. Tryna find an opening, roll the dice, cold sweat running down my neck. She be on the next victim, get caught in a web. Got these fellas spending all they got left. She be keeping the score like a follow ratio. Got these fellas praying to the Lord for a glimpse of any hope. She bad, she broke, straight unpredictable, straight irresistible. She got me in a slow. She's living in my head rent free, burning through my long-term memory. Everybody racing in a Grand Prix. They know if they don't take a chance now, finna stay woke, no sleep, Run it back real slow, is that a wing? She's cold as ice, sugar-coated lies with the honey trap.
Okay, so obviously those loads were pretty low percentages for me, pretty light for me. They were supposed to be comfortable. But team, I think my squat is back. Mentally, I felt so much more confident and just comfortable, and everything just felt natural. And I know I stayed on my legs better without even thinking about it. I stopped overthinking. I just kind of went in and did it, trusted my body, got back to the old mindset, and they felt really good. Really, really good. Everything felt as easy, if not easier, than it probably should have. And I think we might be back, which is very good timing because I am less than 12 weeks out and I need to be back. So very, very happy with how squats just moved. And again, it's very light, but I can feel something in me sparked again. And that's what I've been missing. And it's like this, I've just been so self-deprecating with my squats and overthinking everything for ages. And I kind of just went in and did today and it just felt perfect, exactly as they should. So I'm over the moon, like actually over the moon, and yeah, start of a very good block, hopefully. We'll keep this momentum across all 3 lifts today. Let's see.
She's dangerous. She's dancing with intention. She's got everyone's attention. She's dangerous. They wanna get a number on a Rolex. And they try and their luck. Try and luck. They really wanna be the one.
Okay, so bench also couldn't have gone any better. Obviously, everything is really light this week. Like that's literally the point. Lewis even said to me, he's like, things are probably going to feel too light this week. But that's kind of what I need, and we're going to build some really good momentum this block, and I can kind of feel it happening. With bench, something we are focusing on is more flare within my elbows, so essentially just flaring more rather than being in a tucked position when I am benching. And the reason we are focusing on this a little bit at the moment is because when I spoke to Lewis the other day, I did say to him, on my lighter sets, and especially on things like Larsen press, naturally my body just wants to flare more. Like it just kind of happens, and part of it is me being a bit lazy. But like there's got to be a reason that I'm just instinctively doing it. And around this time last year, like around Commonwealth British Prep last year, I was really focusing on flaring, and I remember thinking it did feel really strong. I got a little bit of shoulder ag from doing it, and when it got to top end, I just naturally wouldn't do it. Like I'd kind of freak out and panic, and I'd go back to tucking a little bit more. And I think it's worth saying that I used to tuck severely, like literally like down here, major like triceps involved, like everything. Like I was a very tucked bencher. The reason I stopped doing that is because I couldn't maintain position on comp benches. So I would essentially slip out of position and be, I don't know how to explain this very well. But essentially, when I'm here and I'm in that arched position, if I bring my elbows here, gravity isn't pushing my body down. Whereas if I'm bringing my elbows here, my back and everything is going to slip more. Don't know if that makes much sense how I've just explained it, but that's something I definitely found with my bench. So essentially, positioning felt more solid with more of a flare, and I've kind of found this happy medium for a while. But I thought it was worth speaking to him about, and he agreed that he thinks flaring will be stronger for me. The only thing we are also focusing on is my internal rotation, particularly in my right shoulder, which I'll go on to in a sec. So with the flaring though, I basically said to Lewis, right, my plan is going to be just try and trust it and like keep that trust as loads get heavier. And that's kind of what we've agreed on. So this feels like a really good time to really focus on that as well, because he's programming much lighter working sets than what I was doing previously, which is fine. Like that's not a bad thing at all. It makes my sessions easier. But it feels like this is a really good time for me to try and enforce that new skill, because things aren't overall as heavy. So like particularly on my working sets is kind of what I'm saying. So it's a good time to try and reinforce that technique. And it did feel really good then. Apart from my right shoulder, I can just feel this tightness in it. So this is where the internal rotation thing comes in. So one thing Lewis has noticed is I tend to tuck a little bit more on my right side, and there's always like a wonkiness with my bench. And part of that is going to be linked to this disc issues I have within my C-spine, like in my neck. And I said that to him as well, like he knows about that, like we're kind of rehabbing some of that as well with some stuff that physio gave me and from his experience, because he has also had similar issues. And I definitely noticed like I haven't had as many flare-ups and stuff over the last few months since rehabbing it and doing what the physio implemented, but also since doing what Lewis has also told me to do, which is great. And I've got the best neck pressure on bench that I have had in years. Like it's not irritating my neck to have that good neck pressure. So we're on to a winning streak here. But what I was actually going to say was, obviously there's going to be a little bit of lopsidedness for most people, like most people aren't perfectly even, but my right side typically looks a lot higher than my left as well, especially as things get heavier, or if I'm just not 100% like perfect positioning, get a little bit lazy with one tiny thing, it does get quite uneven. So he wanted me to start working on my internal rotation anyway, and some of the drills I've been doing is so much, like I have decent movement on the right side, and it's fairly similar in terms of it, but the right side just feels so much tighter. And essentially when I was just doing more flared bench, I definitely felt the tightness in that right side, I guess is the only way to explain it. Like it wasn't a weakness or anything, it just didn't feel great. So it's just something to keep working on. But I do think we are on to a winner there, and I'm really happy with this session. I've actually slowed down because I'm enjoying training so much. Like I'm actually having the best session, and again, it's super light. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm actually just enjoying training for the most, like I have in ages. So now I'm going to warm up for sumo, get that done. It's only going to be ascending triple. I think it's ascending triples into a single, and it's 120, 130, 140 for triples, and then it's 150 singles. So it shouldn't take me more than like 15 minutes once I've warmed up anyway. But I'm going to make it move really well, and I'm going to convince Lewis that I'm a sumo puller.
But there she goes, breaking all of these hearts. Can't seem to stay away from her. She's dangerous. She's dancing with intention. She's got everyone's attention. She knows she's dangerous. They wanna get a number.
Okay, so session complete, in a very good mood. Sumo felt really good. So I won't lie, I was a little bit worried because I felt really good when I went to start, but literally from 70 I could feel my hip, which then made me realise I've not felt my hip all week. So my hip definitely wasn't a massive fan of sumo today, but it doesn't feel any worse now. To be honest, I think I probably just should have just spent a little bit more time warming up. Like my warm-up drills for sumo don't include anything to do with like mobilising my hips really, like it's more like hamstring engagement, RDL, like breathing drills, like that sort of thing. So maybe it might be worth maybe adding in something to help with mobility within my hip. But that felt really good. My 150 single felt really good. It did feel odd not doing tempo to knee, because I've done tempo to knee for so many weeks now. But I was expecting it to kind of feel worse because I wasn't doing tempo to knee, but I quickly got in the groove of it. That 150 single felt so much comfier than my conventional 150 double did earlier in the week. And when I say double, it was 2x1, so it was cluster singles with like 20, 30 seconds rest between. So that felt miles comfier than my conventional did the other day. I still don't know that Lewis is going to let me keep sumo. I feel like he might just be letting me keep it in the programme for now to make me happy. But we will see. But genuinely, that felt really good. And I do kind of feel like I have a point to prove that I potentially could be a sumo lifter. We'll obviously see going forwards, and I'm going to let him make the decision. But my grip feels much more solid on sumo as well. And I can have it a little bit lower in my hands without any worries. Whereas on conventional, I don't feel like I can do that. But yeah, that was a really good session. All three lifts felt brilliant, like really happy. Again, it's super light, but you can get a feel for things, and I think this is exactly how I needed this block to start, and I feel my confidence coming back. I don't know if I said this earlier in the video as well, so I've officially signed up to Nationals now, and it was £120 entry, which, fine, whatever. Won't go into that. I don't know if I might have gone into that earlier. I literally can't remember what I spoke about earlier. But I actually said, I put it on Instagram, but I also said to my boyfriend literally as I paid, I was like, I've paid £120 to do this comp now, plus every other expense involved. I am going to show up, and I'm going to get myself back to the lifter I was. This has kind of proved it, right? So very happy, gonna keep this momentum going, I'm very happy. Nothing else to say, just gonna keep it going. I think being a bit lighter as well definitely feels better. My belt was a little bit comfier today. Obviously I adjust it depending on how bloated and stuff I am from day to day, but I had it on the 4th hole, which for me is a really good place to be. Like 4th, 5th hole generally is when I feel best in myself and in my lifts, and I've had it more on like the 3rd recently. So very good. Very happy. I need to go in there. I need to eat because I'm very hungry. I did have an apple pre-deadlift as well, just because it was getting to the point where I was like, yeah, no, I can tell I've not had anything since like 10 o'clock this morning. But a really good session. I feel like we're on a winning streak now. Like we are on a winning streak. I'm not going to let it be any other way. We're going to have a good block. We're going to have a good 3 blocks into comp. So yeah, very happy. Thank you if you made it to the end of the video, and I will see you in a few days for the next one.